We head from Estonia now to the United Arab Emirates. Kumaran joins me. Second last year in DD2, but running under the Indian flag. But to represent the United Arab Emirates is truly a prestigious honour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. We won the championship in the UAE the last couple of years. We missed it the last year. So well, let's see how this goes. So far, up and down with the weather. Not really allowing us some productive testing. Today's been quite decent, running middle of the pack. Not where we want to be, but at least we're moving forward now. I think the last session will be quite good, and then qualifying tomorrow. So let's see what we can do now for a different flag. Hopefully we can fly it high.
Like you did last year. But also, the format for the UAE Rotax Max Challenge is very different. Say for, continental Europe is from, February through to October. Whereas the UAE, you're running right the way through the winter months until, March time. Just tell us a little bit about how the format works, because I understand that you don't just have, round 2 or round 3. You have, a round 2.1 or a round 2.2 where it's a double-header. Just tell people about what the format is with the UAE Rotax Max Challenge.
See, we end up having long weekends, which is a 2-day race weekend where you have qualifying, 3 heats, and a final the next day. The other way we do it is 2 rounds on 2 days, so 1 day followed by another day, both with a heat, pre-final, and a final. So it's quite difficult because you end up having 5 days of testing and then 2 racing days. That's your whole week is, spent at the track, traveling back and forth, staying in a hotel. It's very similar to what we do in Europe. It's just, obviously a lesser level of competition because there's less people in the UAE, obviously. But yeah, it's improving a lot every year, the level of competition, the level of investment from everybody, so it's quite good.
And how many appearances have you made? Because I know of 2 of them. Have you qualified for the grand finals before Bahrain?
Yeah, I have actually. I've qualified for the one that got cancelled in originally. Yeah, qualified for the one that was in Brazil. So I should have come about 4 times, 1 in senior and then 3 in DD2. But we've only done 2 so far, this being the 3rd, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, DD2, 72 drivers this year, a far mix of ages, from the teens such as Chris Hahn, and then you got the people like Rubens Barrichello, which is absolutely crazy, a multi-time Formula 1 race winner, who's also been in the hunt for championships. But to see that spread of skills over a competitive class, I mean, I've been keeping an eye on the practice sessions, and where there are times when I'm seeing 25 to 30 drivers covered by about a second. It's quite impressive, isn't it?
I think what I find most impressive is, as you said, Rubens is, how old is he? Do you know?
He's in his early 50s. I don't know the exact age, but I don't want to do him a disservice by saying what age he actually is and getting it wrong.
Yeah, so he's, let's say, the elder statesman of DD2 for this year's championship, and you see the level at which he used to race, whether that be Formula 1 or anything you want to put it down to. Extremely successful driver. And then you've got Mark Kimber, who I think is the Euro Trophy champion for this year.
And the BNL champion.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Chris Harnan is one of the youngest in the field, 16, and qualified 2 weeks ago through the Golden Trophy at Karting Genk. So, literally, it came down to the final ticket. We've had previous qualifiers such as Anna Shriblack, who was in the running, won all 3 heats, won the pre-final, and then the final, it just went all horribly wrong in the wet, in Karting Genk of all places. But yeah, like you say, he is the elder statesman, and there's the young whippersnappers like Yorkshire Terriers biting at his heels. But from your perspective, you've put in a lot of investment, a lot of hard work, not just behind the wheel, but also in the gym, getting yourself physically fit so you can compete at the highest level. What does the grand finals mean to you? Because it's a week of celebration, isn't it?
Yeah, last year was incredible. It wasn't expected for me to come away with that result. Maybe my parents, maybe Paul Carr, had some sort of expectation, but it was quite odd, to come back home and have a massive trophy. So I would like to call it a celebration, as you said, because you see everybody racing with basically the same equipment. Everybody under one flag. You may not like each other where you race in your local championships, but then you all have to get along with each other for the week. So that way it's quite good. It's just at the end of the day you have to realize it's a world championship, and once that realization kicks in, everybody gets focused. So let's see how this weekend goes again. I think we've got 7 in the UAE, a bit less than what they had last year, but hopefully we can make that work.
Carl, thanks very much for your time. Good luck this week here in Portimao.